Your turn.
Robert, tell us about some of the other groups you've been in.
Well, let's see. We started out in the late 70s, as, we were a group called Radioactive, and this was, before China Syndrome. It was 10 other people and ourselves out at the nuclear plant, South Texas nuke plant, wailing away, singing Anywhere But Here, Take Me Anywhere, Anywhere But Here. Then we used to play Rock Against Racism rallies as Death. And we started out as Death, and then we got changed on a marquee one time to Death Sex, and we liked that a lot. So we were Death Sex for a while. We were kind of a cult. You never knew when we were going to show up, man. Then we got together with this real brilliant guy named, what was his name? Anyway, we were in this band called French Letters in Houston. That was, once again in Houston, that was kind of, once again, a sort of cult literary decadence band. Roxy music with Rolling Stones' ability on musicianship, And then we were, Baby Speck. That was a classic band. We played a party one time with that band. And that brought us up to Gibbons, Logan, and now Literate Punks are, we were Gibbons, Logan. We played a couple of, stupid literary parties for people who think they've read a lot more novels than anybody else, and really it's probably they just read a bunch of titles and sold one book by mistake or something. Go ahead. I don't know.
Say a little bit about No One's Gonna Win the Next One in relation to Europe.
Well, it was designed, someday for America when they're big enough to take it, but No One's Gonna Win the Next One is basically your nihilistic type song about the stupidity and futility of the oncoming war, and it basically tries to say, look, your money's going to be worthless. That's the second verse. Rubles, marks, pounds, or yen, all of them worthless like the dollar. This time even gold isn't going to buy you freedom because blah blah blah, no one's going to win the next one. Okay, then your first verse basically says, look, we're all caught in this world, there's no great escape. Est isn't even going to work. That's not a word. That's just what it means. That's not the actual lyric. Don't freak out. Werner Erhard, don't actually try to, get your attorneys up in arms about it. I'm just saying nothing's going to save you, and, we're caught in this world, no great escape, but you can feel it coming. Now, that is one of the word lines. You can feel it coming, drum roll, and you're worried. Because blah, 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 no one's going to win the next one. And then the third verse tries to tell you, hey, look, civilians, powers, innocents, cowards, they're all going to die. We're all the target. And this whole script we're running under, Revelation, that's the underlying message of this next line, which is great, because it goes, and God will quietly take the rap. Meaning that God's going to be the only one left after we blow ourselves up, right, if there is one. If he does swoop down in his cloud like Jerry Falwell thinks and, saves us all. Or it's all this Revelation thing that we're running in our script because we're the fanatic Christians. And of course the Russians who are atheists are looking at us going, what a bunch of paranoid schizophrenics over there. We better, arm ourselves to the teeth to deal with them because they're armed to the teeth. And someone will make a mistake, trip over a button, and send the whole thing into, we needed oil, I wanted to keep my limousine gassed, therefore we've got to go invade Saudi Arabia.
You're right, Robert. And by the way, this is one of the better popsicles I've ever eaten.
Yeah, we're trying to say to Europeans, stop, have a popsicle, have an RC Cola, and, put on some rock and roll. Go ahead.
Does it take you a long time to write your songs, or do you find relative ease and whip them out?
Well, in my family, you're set down. They sit you down when you're 3 or 4 years old, and they say to you, look, no one has made any money in this family ever enough to keep the next generation going. So we have to start telling you early, read books, get your act together, because you better write a play, a novel, something creative to get this family out of, poverty. So it really comes easy in a sense because you're pressured into doing it, from beginning in my family. I don't know about Hap. He writes great hooks, and I don't know how he does it. It's just one of those magic things.
Do they just somehow pour out of you, or do you just
listen to other people.
Well, to be honest, when people say a song comes out in 10 minutes or something, they wrote it overnight. Yeah, I may have written a song in 10 minutes overnight, but it's over 20 or 30 years of living. And I say I've done nothing overnight. It was a living experience over time.
I mean, we've worked hard for all this. You can't just become instantly brilliant and
Where's
talented.
that popsicle?
You know? You can't just become instantly writing songs that move people in a bar to stand up and applaud and want you back. You know? That's because there's plenty of bands out there making a lot of money that I'll never go back to see. So, don't think it's real easy. It's not.